Well, good evening, everybody. We have a really, really great night ahead of you for this evening. Fantastic person, great guest. Dan and I have known Stephan and Georgia Longworth for a long time. And Stephan is really a great leader. I think that's the best way I can describe him.
Absolutely.
He's grown a business to more than, in his own lunch break. He's grown a business of more than 80,000 group customers, and he's always maintained excellent growth. But if you look in the entire distributor channel of Telecom Plus, Stephan's business has been the fastest growing business for the last 4 months in a row, which is quite incredible. So without further ado, Stephan, please say hello.
Good evening, everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here, Clive and I. I'm so proud of you guys putting this on. I'm so excited to be on the call tonight. Technology, it's like NASA. It's absolutely incredible. I'm really excited, Clive and I. The share price is obviously going up, and for our new people on the call, you couldn't pick a better time to get involved with this business. I'm deadly serious, and you backed the right horse. Yeah, back to you, Clive.
Right, well, Steph, just to kick things off, I would like you to tell the story of how you actually came to be involved in this industry. I know that Telecom Plus wasn't your first go at network marketing. So would you just outline to that, how did you get involved with networking?
Okay, well, my background, Clive, has been engineering and aviation. I used to get my hands dirty for the first 12 years of my economic life, and then I fell into a dream job working on the airfield at Manchester Airport, and I worked in what was called airfield operations, marshalling aircraft, doing follow-me services. In fact, it is true, and I know you know this, that I actually lost a 747 jumbo jet in the fog at Manchester, so I was no good at my job. So I got involved with network marketing. I was looking for things to do. I'd made some shocking financial decisions, which I'm ashamed to tell people. I was behind on all my big mouth promises to my kids, and I went from a beautiful house, lost it, to a one-bedroom flat in a place called Heaton Moor in Stockport. Now, not a bad area, but it was single glazed windows, no central heating, and I thought to myself at the age of 41, how the heck did I get here? And I looked out for other income streams, and I fell into network marketing. They're the only thing that would take me. And the company was okay that I got involved with, but you had to do products, you had to ship products, have stuff in your boots, and it was a bit of a nightmare. And then I heard about this company through several people, and this is a great lesson for the new people. 3 or 4 people told me about Telecom Plus, and I didn't really listen to them, if I'm honest. The best analogy I can give you is they had narrow vision, so I had narrow ears. I didn't listen to them. And then an intermediate talked to me about this, and then the rest is history, because I was extremely skeptical when I joined the business. But you had the, I'm looking at your face instead of the camera, I do apologise. You had the presence of mind to actually take me down to HQ. I don't know whether you remember that, Clive.
Oh, I do. I remember the car journey. You were like, well, is this thing real? And, of course, when we got there, we were looking at a little modern office, which was a converted pub. Nice little, development.
I have to say, I put the, you don't know this, Steph, but I actually put the child locks on the door. That's true. That's true. I've never told you. I'm telling you now, I put the child locks on.
And I was extremely skeptical, Clive. You remind me of that a lot. But hey, the rest is history. We joined the company. It's been solid. It's an incredible company, and we're fortunate now. No longer. My wife worked for BA, British Airways, for 22 years in sort of lower management. She retired at 45, and I'm fortunate that I don't have to do anything else now. So this has been pretty cool. So may I take this opportunity and thank you two for being there as well. So that's pretty cool.
Well, cool. Thank you very much indeed, Steph. The thing I think a lot of people would like to know, though, watching this today, is what did you do first?
What did I do first? Well, I honestly did a list, okay, because I didn't have any money to do any advertising or anything like that. I'd never done sales or marketing. So I sat down and emptied my mind on a tablet of paper. And I put everybody on there. And there's people on the list that I didn't like. There was people on the list that were too young, too old, but that just triggered something, and I wrote them down. And then I categorized the list. And I thought about people who were maybe like me, hungry, who wanted another profit center, another income stream, and I'd give them a little tick. People who were over 18 that could qualify for being a customer, give them a little tick. People who maybe were fed up of their job, dissatisfied, I give them a little tick. And the ones with the most ticks, those are the people I first approached about an opportunity. So I did it quite systematically, truth be known. But things weren't going so well, and then I had the good fortune to invite myself to your house, if you remember, and I wanted to see, because you've been to the top of 2 of the network marketing companies, and I wanted to see what your daily method of operation was. And
I remember that only too well. I remember you used to and you'd be there. I'm sure you ran from outside the house.
No, I was there, and I remember Diana. I think I ended up making the tea all day, didn't I, for my memory serves me right? And Diana was absolute like an animal on the phone, and therein lies a little clue for the new people on the phone. This is work. I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence on this call tonight. You know, what is it? The only place work comes before success is in the dictionary, is it? Or success comes before work is in the dictionary. It takes work, it takes hard work. You know, there's no free lunch in life. You know, but the great thing is, with it being such a low startup enterprise, no risk, high potential return on investment, nobody gets hurt with our company. But they've got to flap their mouth up and down. That's what they've got to do.
So when you sort of came round and saw our activity, what did you take away from that? What was the sort of thing that you picked up from us? You thought, hey, I need to do this.
Well, I was frightened to death. I remember having the conversation with Diana. I thought she was like a Wonder Woman, not being frightened of the phone, but she had a drive in her heart for the boys. I remember that distinctively when the boys were younger. And I made a decision after sitting down with you guys. When I got home, I made a decision to pick the phone up. And I've got to be honest with you, I was frightened to death of the phone. It was like a 10-ton telephone with teeth. It was frightening. However, the thing that drove me was the fear of failure. That drove me even more than the phone. And after all, it's just a little gadget. It's a device. It's just a means of communications. And when I first started phoning people, I wasn't that good. But picking up the phone was, you know, I celebrated. I'd have a cup of tea if I picked the phone up, and then it went on from there. And then I made a decision. I looked at those kids in that little flat. I looked at them in, you know, when we were put into bed, because we were living in the back bedroom, myself and Georgia, and we converted the front room to their room. And I remember we put them to bed, and I thought, crumbs, I've got to do something about this. So then I made a decision. I thought, I had this list, and I thought, I'm just going to really hit the phone in a sustained period over the weekend without a word of a lie. On a Saturday and Sunday, I made I think it was 59 phone calls. Out the 59 phone calls, something like 25 people said they would come and meet me. I'd got answer machines. I didn't leave a message or anything like that. I just left it. And out the 25 people that promised that they'd come and see me, not everybody did. I think it was 17 people turned up to come and see me. And out the 17 that come and see me, I was bringing them to your house, if you remember. Yeah. And out the 17 that came and see me, I think it was 9 that joined. And out the 9 that joined, 3 are still with us today. But the 3 that are still with us today, I think they brought on between them something like 40,000 customers.
Steph, can I ask you a question here? All that activity that you've just shared with everybody was in a very, very short period of time, wasn't it?
It was a burst. It was a burst.
Yeah, what sort of period of time? Those phone calls was a weekend, you know,
About 2 hours. About 2 hours, that was it. So 2 hours of really hard work and taking some blows on the nose and some rejection and all that stuff.
And then
I think I'm worried about that.
And then you had 17 appointments, didn't you? Which you did very, very, very quickly, one after one after one after one after one.
Bang, bang, that's correct. Yeah, I would say something like, Clive, you know, are you free tomorrow at 7, or would Tuesday suit you best?
Yeah.
You know, but we've got a window of opportunity here, and we need to get together sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I don't want you to miss out. You know, throwing a bit of food loss. Sorry.
Because if I remember, well, I do remember rightly, in those days, you know, this is back when I was a lad in network marketing and you had to walk through 2 feet of snow to go to school. If I remember rightly, there were no career opportunity presentations at that time. You know, we all did it ourselves. You know, we used to do it our front room. You used to bring people over, and that then spiraled from there.
Yeah.
But I'd like to take you forward step into the future, because you've now got a really big, vibrant, fast-paced group.
Sure.
And I know that you've got an inherent culture within your business of personal development and a culture of personal development, and also a culture of events. Would you, first of all, describe why you went down that route? Secondly, what we mean by the term event, okay? And really how you got that going, because I think I believe it's key in this business. But so I'd like to know your opinion.
Okay, well, first and foremost, the personal development side, Clive. A lot of people know now, I think, it's come out that I suffer from dyslexia, and I was frightened to death of reading books. But, you know, I am not the same man that I was 10 years ago. You know, I was like a bit of a rough diamond. I'm still learning, and I'm on a major learning curve today. But I've got to be honest, it's the personal development, the books, the tapes, the association, the seminars that's changed me. You know, some of my friends that I used to see at school, they don't think I'm even the same man. They think I'm you know, got the same name as this bloke that they knew years and years ago. But the personal development, we created a culture. First and foremost, I found some people who are a lot better at this than I am. Okay, and I could sit here and wax lyrical about some of the wonderful people that we're fortunate to have in our team, and I don't take that for granted. I think that's the first thing. Personal development. I believe, and this comes back to our friend Jim Rowan, Clive, that you got me on to 12, 13 years ago. I think it was Jim said that very rarely in life will your income, very rarely, will your income exceed your personal development. Maybe you win the lottery or the football pools.
Right.
Yeah. And I really bought into that. You know, whether you're in corporate Britain, IBM, Microsoft, if you're climbing the corporate ladder, you're going on courses, you're doing personal development to get you higher within that system. Our business is no different. And it is about the books you read. It is about the CDs you listen to. You know, my advice would be read 10, 20 pages of a good book a day, not Stephen King. Now, don't get my message wrong. You know, there's good stuff in escapism, but I think as a society we're grossly out of balance with bread for the head, and you know, watching or listening to pop songs too much on the radio, building Madonna's royalties up instead of your own net worth, if that makes sense. And when I drive around, when I was really sort of getting into it very quickly, is I didn't say from here to London how it was a 3-hour journey. It was how many tapes it took. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Steph, I was just going to say, I wasn't a big reader, but what I found is I love audiobooks. So if you're not a big reader, we've now got audiobooks. You know, I love listening to Eric Worre's Grove Pro, for example.
Great
system. Where I'm coming from. So don't use the excuse that, well, I don't really like reading books. Get it on audio. I know it's incredible to think you've now written 2 books, haven't you?
Oh, it's only 3rd revision. It's 3rd revision, aren't you, Steph, I think?
Second edition, yeah.
Now, this people, because I know Stephan won't promote this because he's a bit modest at times, but Stephan's book, The Impact System, it's got a rhinoceros on the cover. This book, after Go Pro, Eric Worre's book, they're the 2 books that you should have. There are others as well, which are great books, but those 2 books, they're the ones that you need to master. And
don't. Here's a tip for you: don't lend them to your downline. Okay, they're a price of a cup of coffee or 2 in Starbucks. So get them to invest. Trust me on that one, guys. You know, it's a packet of well, cigarettes. It's a couple of drinks in Starbucks. Get them to invest in it. But they
I'm so thank you for that. Really, thank you for mentioning the book. We've done a lot for charity. I gave a cheque to Andrew Lindsay a couple of months ago for £2,900 that was donated from the book. And just to back up what Di said about don't give your books away. You know, if you grow as a person in 6 months and you revisit that book and you haven't got it, how can you ever revisit it if you haven't got the book? And you'll probably read a totally different book. So yeah, absolutely, 100% behind you, Diana, with that. Don't give your books away. Put value on it.
Okay. Now, the sort of what I just like to do is first of all say to our audience that's watching, okay, you should see on one side of your screen now a questions and answers format. If you want to ask Stephan a question, now is the time to start putting in there whilst Stephan's answering my next question. And Stephan, I believe, and I know Dan agrees with me, there are some key skills that you need to master in this business to really drive it through to become a successful income earner. I'm not talking just a few £100 a month, and there's nothing wrong if people join this business to earn a few £100 a month, but it's such a huge opportunity. And I do believe that you should grow as much as you possibly can. So what sort of skills do you think that people really, really need to master?
Wow, that's a great question, Clive. If I was on a desert island and you said you can only, give me 3 answers to this question, it would be promoting events would be the big one. And you've got to get good at presenting the business and getting people to look, so invite people to come and have a look. But I know there's leaders out there who are not the best presenters. Maybe we have the internet to help us do that, or videos and that kind of thing. Some of them are not the best trainers. But I tell you, the ones who make the big money are masters of the invitation. Masters. I heard a story to give you an indication. Promoting events, and it might be this webinar next Sunday night. If we can't get somebody to watch a half-an-hour webinar in the comfort of their own home and just put the telly on pause, you don't want them in your business. I know that might sound a bit hard, but in our great country, you're in the States, I'm in sunny Stockport, we have a thing called free enterprise, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean to say it's free, does it? It means you are free to participate. But you've got to pay some price to get the knowledge to increase your income. And you can circumvent that if you're really smart at promoting events. I think it was a boxer, world champion, Mike Tyson, was a millionaire, world champion, did some silly things, lost all his money, lost his championship belt. But when they interviewed his promoter, Mr. Don King with the funny hair.
Oh, like Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, at least you've got some hair, Clive. I'll swap you. Mr. Don King, he's a billionaire. And they asked Mr. Don King, how did you make your money? He said, I'm a master promoter. I'm a master ticket salesman. My job was to get people in the arena. Now, hopefully that, with the audience listening, they'll really buy into that. If you can get people out of your team into an event, on a webinar like this, reading a book, to one of our open evenings, to a training, it's to do with social proof, social conditioning. They go and see a bigger picture, and it's real for them. Okay, you're not the issue. And I cottoned on to this some years ago, and I was good at if one thing, at getting people to events. And I sat there, and they may not like me even, but they related to somebody on the stage, they related to somebody maybe on the webinar, they related to somebody in a book. Bang, away they go with or without you.
Steph, I want to ask you a question here. How many events, how many meetings, how many trainings, how many seminars, how many MADs, how many express days have you promoted through Facebook?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally. No, I've got a point to this.
The trick question, none.
None.
I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone.
Steph, what do I do?
You're on the phone.
I'm on the phone. We're on the phone. What did we do for years and years and years together?
Get the phone, because people can hear the excitement in your voice, the inflection, the speed, the urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we still do it to this day. I'm not knocking Facebook, but people think because they've put something on Facebook, that's it. It's promoted. But
no, it's not. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. But like, if I can take people in the future, listen, you start getting good at promoting. And I was crummy at it at first. You know, some people didn't turn up, and I would watch people going across the stage, and they were all cheering for their leaders, and I was scratching my head. And I thought, right, I'm going to have a few more here next time, or I'd have a few more next time, and it would start to sort of embryonically go out, and we'd have a hardcore of people. And Clive mentioned culture, and whilst we're on this, if I could just cover that, Clive, if I may. We hopefully have developed to get in the team personal development, not millions and millions of books, because then nobody spends any time picking up the phone and making appointments, and that's what puts money in your bank account. But hey, maybe a book a month, or a CD a week, or something in dead time, drive time, I think can help massively. But the culture side, the thing that bonds this together, the thing that glues all this, is the relationships. Okay, they say that the teams that play together stay together. Once you getting somebody to part with £100, unless it's the last £100, is not that problematic. You don't have a problem with it, Di. I don't. Clive doesn't. David doesn't. Okay, because we will give them solutions. If they can't put their hands on £100, they need this business. Correct. In a respectful way. But that's only part of it. You get them in, keep them in personal development, then move their skill levels along. That includes the relationship. The distributors are the bricks, the relationships, the bonding agent, the glue that cements all this together. And an event might not be a company event like a massive action day, a kickoff seminar, express it. An event could be getting together with your team at a local coffee shop, where you're all together. There's strength in numbers, because it can be a lonely business. And that's why leaders on the call, you've got to start this culture. You've got to get these guys and girls together so they feel part of something. They feel harmonized, as part of something bigger, if that makes sense. An identity, a family identity.
I think family identity, is key. We've had a few questions come through. I've got one here. Where are we now? Okay. There's one here from Dave Burberg, okay, which is, Steph, what process did you go through to gain absolute clarity on your goals and purpose? Do you have an answer for that, Steph?
Yeah, I didn't have any major goals initially because my back was against the wall financially, Dave. It's a great question. I didn't have the flash cars in mind. I was running around in one of those two-tone job cars, paint on the bottom, rust on the top kind of thing. My dad used to take the Mickeys. God bless him, he's not here. I got it from the auction, car auction. It had holes in the sills. He nicknamed it my Fred Flintstone car. But I just needed to do this because I was financially broke. And I joined the business, as you well know, just to earn a few £100 a month to help the kids. And my goal was the kids initially. I didn't have any sort of pictures of fast cars. Then once we got to the few £100, I knew that was attainable. Then I thought, well, why not a few £100, not a month, a few £100 a week now? And then we got to a few £100 a week. And then I thought, well, why not a few £1,000s a month? And then we got to that and we thought, well, why not a few £1,000s a week? And then it sort of got a little bit more. And then once, we saw the bigger monies coming out, we could get the daft cars, the properties abroad and all that kind of stuff. But Dave, it doesn't even have to make sense, your goals, to anybody. Who gives a stuff what other people think? What's important is what you think. You've got a vehicle here that you're never going to ever see ever again in your lifetime, and I believe that with a passion. You just got to grab it with both hands, my friend, flap your jaw up and down, add customers and distributors every day, every week, and then you can get whatever you want. Cool. That's probably an answer to his question, but...
I was going to interrupt here because this is funny. One of Clive's first goals, little goals, was a, you know, he's a keen photographer, was a tripod. He now has, is it 12, 13?
Well, I have a selection.
He has a whole selection of tripods. And
I need to take a picture off the fridge. Yeah.
And still, you know, so it doesn't matter how small, I agree with Steph, it doesn't matter how small your goal is, a few £100, it moves on and on and on. Because it was a long time before you got your Jag, Steph, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. My first decent car had been in the business probably about 6 years, yeah. I think. Before I bought my first decent car.
I think like you parked your car sort of round the corner, didn't I? You know.
That's correct. Yeah, I always had clean shoes, nice shoes, and a nice tie.
Yeah.
But I parked my car about 10 blocks away.
I've got another question here, which is from Jennifer Smith.
Hello, Jennifer.
Stephan, did you ever get down whilst building your business, and how did you get yourself up again?
Of course I did. I'd be lying. Of course I got downhearted. You know, and you know, there's a thing called Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. And my kids, that's what kept me going. And there's a little tip for you. Jennifer, was it, Clive?
Yeah.
If you've got children, Jennifer, put your children's faces on your iPhone. And every time you look at the iPhone, it'll drive you to get over the obstacles and the disappointments. And it would be naive. You know, my background's aviation. Okay, let me share with you a real problem in life. You're sat on an aeroplane going over, you know, the Ukraine with your family and getting shot down. Not if somebody says no or boo to you. I don't like the rejection. I still don't like the rejection. But it's part of the course. You know, you've got to have broad shoulders. But isn't that the same in any job in life? Isn't that, you know, Georgia gave me the... Sorry, Di.
No, I'm just backing you up, Steph. You know, there's times when Clive and I still go through that. You know. Yeah. But we forget sometimes that you guys, when you see us or you see Steph, you know, you perhaps don't think we do have challenges, or, you know, people don't say no to us, but, you know, it still happens. There's still times where we get disappointed. But we just pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off and move forward.
Steph, I've got a question which is actually kind of allied to a question that's just answered from Louise James. And Louise has got an advertisement running. And she says that she's had 11 inquiries, very difficult to close them. But really, I would like to adapt that question. You know, what's your opinion of using advertising to build this business?
Wow, you've got to be good. I've never advertised. I've always used my list, and then the people that I've brought in, we've sat down, and the first thing is help them develop a list, and then the ones that they brought in. You know, if you've got 6 people in, and they'll do a list of 100 people, you've got 600 people on that list. You know, so you've got some superstars somewhere. But if you are doing advertising, the first thing, I don't know what your advert says and stuff, how you're attracting people. I don't know whether you're phoning them up first, asking them questions about them, why they're interested in looking at a second income stream, and then, you know, asking them questions to find some good answers, and then giving them a solution to their problems. Or you're just doing it through email or the internet. I can't really answer that, because I don't know what kind of advertising. Is it online advertising? Is it in the newspaper? It's
on a mum's website. Mum's looking at this, and if I can find it, I've seen it here somewhere. I think it said something that the ad was. Yeah, I must add that this. Let's just get rid of that one. I must add this is on a mum's returning to work site, and they all seem interested.
Yeah, but like Steph, I just have to say, Steph, we've never advertised because in our day, you know, it was extremely costly. And the reason I don't particularly like advertising, but I know it works for some people, is that when you bring somebody in off an advert, guess what's the first thing they want to do?
Run an ad.
Run an ad.
And I have to say to you, when I said I've never advertised, it's not true. I have advertised once. I ran an advert in the Warrington Guardian, the Manchester Evening News, the Stockport Express, and some other rag, I can't remember what it was. I had phones ringing off the hook from people saying, tell me about the job. The quality was absolutely dire, and it was expensive, and I got rock all from it. So,
and I think Steph, you've just said a brilliant point, which is how you and I, in those early days, and Clive, and to this day, as soon as we get one person on board, we're into their list, we're out with that person, we're recruiting with that person, we're driving their numbers. You can get 200 distributors off just one, and that's how we've done it, isn't it, Steph? It's the
I'm mindful of the time, Clive and I, for that lady. I don't mind if you want to wing my email. Let me have a think about that. I don't know if we can put her in touch with somebody who's doing this lady. I have no idea, because I don't. Okay. You know, I don't do.
Here's a question which I think you know that is more pertinent in a way. It's from Ella Worthington, and Ella's question is: if you sign me up today, what are the top 3 to 5 things you would cover with me?
Oh wow, that's a great question, Ella. First thing I would do is ask. I want to, if I knew you or I didn't know you. So again, if I know you well, then I would ask you whether you want to build this fast or slow. And if you say fast, I'm going to ask you, are you going to be teachable and coachable? Not quite as direct as because I'm mindful of time. And then I would say, look, I've been showed a guaranteed system, Ella, that will put money into your bank account, that was shared to me by some very wealthy people, and it's taking all your contacts, emptying your mind on the tablet of paper. Then we're going to categorize that list. We're going to be quite selective, and then there'll be people on the list that you may want to approach about making more money this year than last year. Then I would use the scripts, the Eric Worre stuff on helping the new person, creating a bit of momentum right from the get-go. So if I sat down with you today, in the next 48 hours at my game plan stage, I'd want to be trying to get some people interested in the opportunity. Okay. I wouldn't want to waste time. That's the best little tips in this time window we've got.
I think also, as Steph will probably agree, I think you can also, in that 48 hours, I do believe you can get, you need to get a commitment from that person. It's no good than saying they want to earn 3 to 5 grand a month over the next 2 to 5 years if they're not, committed. I think you'd agree on that one, Steph.
Yeah, of course, I'd use the Eric Worre stuff and say, Di, without me just going over this,
yeah.
You've obviously seen value in this. Just out of interest, how much do you want to make each month to make this worth your while, Dan?
Yeah, just to get a commitment.
I mean, we've covered the scripts in previous broadcasts.
No, that's what I'm saying. They can go back on that. And I didn't want to sort of.
We've got 2 more questions, and then we're going to finish. This one from Bill Johnson, which is: did you ever have team competitions amongst your team during the early days to encourage results?
Yes.
Gather, top recruiter, etc.
Yes. I made it very achievable. Small, bite-sized chunks, maybe in the early days, a couple of customers, a couple of distributors, etc. Yes, absolutely. Or pushing to the next level.
Cool.
Or maybe even a top 10. Curry at your house, something like that. I think
absolutely. Yeah. That kind of thing, creating that team bonding.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last question we're going to take is from Tony Sarney. Tony's question is: Steph, what are your top 5 books and/or audio programs you would recommend to an ID who is at the beginning stage of the business, QD, TL, and what are you reading currently? That's from Tony Sarney.
Okay, I'm going to be a bit selfish here. I'm going to say my book and
books.
And a leadership book of some kind, that kind of thing. Maybe if you've never sort of done the self-development stuff, crikey, I could rattle off so many books. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. It's quite a heavy read, but there's some magic secrets in that book. Of late, crikey, I've just read Schreiter's got a leadership book, which is a very easy read, very basic but good. You've got Wes Linden. There's loads of books. There's loads of stuff.
Yeah,
leadership.
I think my favourite, apart from yours, is what for the best how-to book in networking is yours and Eric Worre's GoPro. I think for me they're the best how-to books.
Sure, and then from that take action. Not the world's full of academic derelicts.
Have you read Beach Money by Jordan Atkins?
Adler, yeah, I've read Beach Money. I'm not ready for 12 months. That's a great book as well.
Yeah. I chatted with Jordan. He was 12 years in different networks, never recruited anyone, and then just click, it happened. Everyone told him it wouldn't. Yeah, great read.
Okay.
Read.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're overrunning a little bit, but who the hell cares? I'd just like to thank Stephan very much indeed for his time this evening. I'm sure that we've all enjoyed it. I certainly have. And have you had?
I have.
Okay. And I'd just like to talk very quickly about our next broadcast, which, irrespective of what it says on whatever email you're going to get from Google, because Google, this platform is in beta testing, which means Google changes things at a moment's notice without telling anybody, which makes life interesting. So our next broadcast is going to be Sunday night. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. at night. PM is at night, 7:30, okay, irrespective of what you ever see on the Google Plus website, it will be 7:30. And we're going to have a busy half hour next week. We've got some guests coming along, and I'm hoping we're going to get them all online. And these people have all been recognized last month as being in the top achievers in the industry. That's out of 40,000 distributors, thereabouts. So Carl Smale, Senior Team Leader. Group Leaders Graham and Karen Crozier. Group Leaders Richard and Julie Bray. Senior Group Leaders Steve and Ashley Fairburn. And Senior Group Leaders Mark and Angela de Souza. And Graham and Karen Crozier were also top recruiters last month as well.
Out of 40,000, guys.
40,000.
So if you've got any recruitment questions, you need to be on there asking questions.
So, get your questions ready. I'll be sending out a link either very late tonight or tomorrow, because we're currently in Florida, as we can see, then the sun is shining. And just thought I'd drop that in. But I do really hope that tonight's broadcast you found to be absolutely wizard. And
what are you doing?
Well, it's better than looking like a dog, isn't it? But there we go. Just something I've been playing.
I'm such a pleasure to be on this call tonight.
Yeah, let's I get one on you. What about that then?
Oh, that's good. No, it's only for you, you see. So, ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday you'll get the link. The way that you'll get these links is through. No, don't look around. This is serious.
Okay.
Through this link here, facebook.com/Leach Ross. That's going to be the information channel for this stuff. That's where you need to go. Okay. And for those of you in our Google circles, that'll be really good. So that's going to be good night from me. Okay. And or Diana. And if you have been, thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll see you all next Sunday. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.